Hey, good morning, everyone. It's 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. Did I hit the miss? Yeah, it goes. Hey, hope everybody did well this weekend. Had a great time. Greg Mester, Agile Coach Scrum Master, here with you. And this is 5 a.m. Mester Scrum, show number 77. It is a Monday. Of course, it's a Monday. Let's see the clock. And we're in the 5 o'clock hour. So we're at 5:36, it looks like. And one day I'll set it up where the clock is over here when we get to office and see how we're doing. And hope everyone had a good weekend. I had a lot of fun this weekend. You know, we talk about Agile and Scrum and different business items. So we're going to talk about a couple different things, some networking stuff today. And then we're going to talk about dependencies and how that all works out. So this weekend, we do this thing where we have, I challenge everybody. So it was a really interesting weekend where maybe on Mondays or sometime during the week to break up your daily Scrum fun. We ask a question like, what fun thing did you do over the weekend? What's your next fun thing? And any blockers are having fun, right? So this weekend, we got volunteered to be in a parade in Philadelphia, just hanging, carrying a flag. I put some pictures up, but you just have to be able to do that with your family and have some good time. So that was fun. It was fun actually being in a parade. It takes me 50 years to be in a parade. May have been one when I was a tiny little kid, and then 50 years later, just hanging out with people. I was Polish for the day, so hey, whatever it takes to have some fun. I could be Polish for a day, and it was a good old time. And then on the way from that, I went to the PMI conference downtown in Philly because the parade was there. So I just walked over to the conference, spent the day, and checked out all the vendors, see what was going on, what they did. I'd never been to a PMI conference before because they're always been in other cities. And like I told one person the other day, if I don't go, I'm a hypocrite because I complain about it being in everybody else's city. They finally did it in Philadelphia, even though their headquarters just down the road from Philadelphia. And I had to go. So I went and walked around. It was pretty fun. One of the things I did learn something. We're going to bring that up in this episode. I did meet one of our fans out there, one of our fellow watchers for 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. I wish I would have took a selfie. A lesson learned when I go to these things now, and people, hey, Craig Mester from 5 a.m. Mester Scrum. We were chatting a little bit. I really wish I would have took a selfie during the day. Maybe he'll send me a message on 5 a.m. Mester Scrum and say, hey, I saw you yesterday. It was pretty cool. I got some swag, got a little Villanova, a little basketball. It's pretty cool. Give it to the kids. And then one of the things picked up yesterday was really neat from a networking standpoint. So the next time you go to a local, I got my phone. You can pull it down a little bit, maybe go like that. You can see the stuff in the background. I got my phone, right? And I don't know. Can you see? No, it's too bright. This doesn't work on the pickup. But in LinkedIn, found a new thing for connecting, and this is a great idea. And they talked about it, but I don't think they could take it next step. So the next time you do one of these Agile coffees, you go to a local chapter for networking. What fun thing did you do? What was your next fun thing? You can do that too. But I found this neat thing where you click on the little icon with the people on it, right? So you're in your app on your phone. Click on the little networking people option, right? And then you go manage. No, okay. This is the thing I had a problem with. So it shows up. There should be a bottom right-hand corner, a little blue icon with a person's outline or silhouette with a little plus sign. And that's to find other people. What I learned is sometimes that's not there, and you got to scroll. If you scroll up or scroll down, it might disappear. And so there was a little thing where I was trying to find it during the show. I couldn't find it. And they had LinkedIn people at this event talking about it. This is where I learned it from LinkedIn people. So you click on the little person with the plus, and there's find nearby, right? You should see find nearby. You click on it, it will turn it on. Now what you do, you have everybody in the networking event turn that on at the same time. And this thing only works when everybody else is on. But this is a great way. You want to meet all your connections at the event, do it at the beginning, right? And then just start liking everybody or connecting with everybody at the event. And then you can get back later and you can network them and talk with them. The one feature I would have added to this, and I was trying to show, can you do it? No, it gives you a picture. But it's pretty cool. Find nearby. So do this at your next networking event. It'll get you more connections and you'll be able to find people you work with and talk more. The only feature I would have added to it to give to LinkedIn was it would be neat if it would have showed the people I'm already connected to, especially at a big conference. Like, hey, they should have a sign at the beginning of the conference saying, hey, turn on your connections nearby. And rather than just only find new connections, it would be really cool if it said, hey, because I think Facebook kind of does it where, hey, someone's in the area if you want to connect with them. So LinkedIn does it new ones, right? Facebook does existing ones. I wish LinkedIn would also do existing ones while you're at a big conference like that. And you can find out if there's anybody that you're connected with at one of those big conferences. You're like, oh, hey, meet me over at the Caterpillar exhibit or whatever that was there. So that was cool. I wanted to share that with you from a network perspective. So the next time you go to a local networking event, tell them all, tell the host, hey, I'm going to get up, stand up. We're going to do a networking thing right now. And I'm going to do it all the time. So I'm going to tell my little local networking things they should do this, just so everybody's connected in LinkedIn. Later on, you can talk about the event and everything like that. And it's always good to have more connections than less. And to be honest with you, if they're all at a similar event that you're at, you're all going to want to be connected anyhow. You share some of the same interests, so why not do it, right? All right, so dependencies, right? The other day, I got the little whiteboard. The other day, and this is 5am Mester Scrum. Please like and subscribe, share with your friends. Hit the little bell, right? This is show 77 for those who are on podcasts. It's kind of reminder as they fade in and out. And we're still in the kitchen because I haven't cleaned the office yet. Maybe I'll try to do some of that this morning. I got most of it cleaned up, but I got a lot of work to do. So I got the whiteboard. So dependency planning, right? And there's a couple different things. One, I always look at from a team. We talked about a product owner having, 2 to 3 sprints of backlog, right? No more than 3 because it changes. And as we talked about over the weekend, because I woke up early to do 5am Mester Scrum, I'm listening to the financial news and they're talking about how, it's what dawned on me. It didn't dawn on me. It's the change of what's going on and things, what needs to be done. So anyway, it's live video. So things happen and you might have to just radically just throw everything out and start over again anyhow. So right there. So you're 2 to 3 sprints in. What this gives you a chance for your technical people. Okay, you want these ideas. You'd be able to find some dependencies. And people are like, why do we want to do that? Why do we want to figure that ahead? I don't know about you, but one of the biggest problems I see in Agile and Scrum is that people wait to the sprint to go talk to the other people that they have a dependency on to get it done in the sprint. And then they go, I don't know why I couldn't get the sprint done. And they complain that I had a dependency and the other team couldn't get it done, right? Well, yeah, you gave them 1 week's notice. They were doing other things. They have to drop everything so they can, help you out, which is the wrong way of thinking. So if 2 to 3 sprints, you have some dependencies, right? And I'm going to pull this down just a tad bit. There you go, right there. So then you can see the full whiteboard. So that's why we do the 2 to 3 sprints. 2 to 3 sprints. Now this is if you don't have any scaling. If you have 3 of backlog, right? So if you have 2 to 3 sprints of backlog, think about it. You have, once you start doing 2 to 3 sprints, that's if this is 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. I mean, you can give up like 6 weeks worth of notice to people that you're going to have a dependency. That's plenty of time, right? That's plenty of time to get stuff done and cut it, unless they're really not able to adapt to 6 weeks notice. And then I would have a question about that organization. Maybe we should go fix them too. But you got 6 months. But one, you got your PI and safe if you start scaling, right? So you need to do this for any kind of Scrum activities in general, but you have your PI planning, right? And in your PI planning, they tell you lay out your different, you got your teams, like I'm drawing a grid here, and I got team 1, 1, 2, and I'm just going to do 3 teams, and maybe you have some externals at the bottom, right? And then you have sprint 1, sprint 2, sprint 3, and maybe there's a sprint 4. What are they usually 5, 6 sprints? And then because it's usually like a quarter, it's so calendar based, right? Sprint 5. And they usually talk about features, and you put your feature in. Like team 1's going to be working on this feature, F1, right? And maybe they need something from team B to get done here, and they have a feature or something, right? Like that. But features go across sprints. Like you can be working on a feature that takes all this time, right? Which is nice. It's 5 sprints, or epic, depending what language you talk, right? Epic or feature. That takes multiple sprints to get done because it's just a lot of work. Well, it's all fine and dandy. And then you draw lines like maybe this team is looking for something here, some feature here, and feature 5 or whatever, and that's linked to this feature to get this feature done. What I like to do, and again, we talk about, yesterday we talked about the meeting between PMI, PMP, and Agile Scrum, and neither of the two shall ever meet, because we ever get all in the same, there'll be a battle, right? Like, oh, we need waterfall. Oh, we need Scrum. We don't need any planning. There is some planning. What I like to do is to look at stories. And as a program manager, again, I love this, because when I see people do this, I say, well, how do you plan? It's really important when you say, I need this feature. Let's say I'm here. I got this feature, right? But in here, there's so many little squares. Like I'm in sprint 4. I got this feature for team 1 at the top, and there's some stories that are in sprint 3, and maybe there's 2 stories in sprint 4. What I really want to know is when, let's say this one story in sprint 4 has a dependency on a feature in sprint 2 or a story. Maybe it's just not a whole feature. Maybe it's just some little thing from some other team, and you want to minimize dependencies, but this chart. So maybe I get a little story in here, right? You want to make sure that this story and this feature in team 2 that's in sprint 2 gets done prior to this. What I find is that I find some teams that do this, and they say, hey, I need features. And this has no value. This absolutely has no value whatsoever. Watch this. So I got teams that'll go, I have a feature that's going to span these 3 sprints, right? And I'm in team 1, and I got a feature going from sprint 2, going in 3, and going to 4, and it's feature whatever. And then in team 2, I also have a feature that's the same feature we're working on. And that one also goes from sprint 2, 3 to 4. And then maybe I have this one in team 3 at the bottom, and I have a feature that spreads. Maybe there's some shared resource thing kind of thing. Feature sprint 1 and sprint 2. So, and then typically the way PI, the books and everything say, well, this feature up here, this feature 1 for team 1 is dependent on both feature 2, which is team 2, which is covering the same time frame, and also I got feature 2 or feature 3 and team 3 that goes from sprint 1 to sprint 2, right? So there's some features, and you would take some string and you would attach it to the feature, right? Okay, that's well and dandy. So I have feature 1 depends, or depends, I go backwards, depends on feature 2 on team 2, and feature 1 depends on feature 3 and team 3, right? And we're at the 1539, so we'll do this kind of quick. That doesn't tell you anything. You need to identify which story and which sprint actually depends. So maybe it's more like story for feature 1 is in sprint 1, depends on the story on feature 2 for team 2 and sprint 2, and the story and feature 3 and team 3, which is sprint 1, kind of depend on each other to get done. That is more valuable information. And so myself, from a project manager, I know where the handoffs are. But what they don't tell you, what if you decided as a team, this is where the flaw is in that and the way they do it. Let's say the team decide, oh, we're going to do this story that depended on the team in sprint 2. However, team 2 decide they're not going to work on their dependent story until sprint 3. So they're not going to get working. So you plan and do all this work, and it actually goes forward, and that becomes a little red string. I mean, if you don't identify what story in your feature is dependent, and then they move it to the first string, it's kind of like valueless, unless you're going to tell me you're in a system which is maybe more effective, that each feature is done in a sprint, right? If you can do features and your features don't span multiple sprints, then that system works out okay, where I have some feature and maybe there's some stories in here. Like here, I'm just drawing a feature in sprint 2 for team 3 that feeds into a feature that's in sprint 3 for team 2, which feeds into a feature that's in sprint 4 for team 1. And if the features are just within the sprint, then that system works. But once these features start expanding in multiple sprints, some idiot can put the story that they're depending on in sprint 3 and for team 1, and team 2 does their feature, which is also in sprint 3, in the same sprint. Maybe then you can't start any work maybe until you get the other work done. So anyway, just kind of wanted to talk about the feature dependencies, how it helps both Agile, Scrum, and in the old day I saw a lot of PMP, a lot of Microsoft project stuff, a lot of project oriented at the PMI thing, where you would do your Gantt chart. So with that, I want to end the 5am Mester Scrum because we're at the 1828 mark. We're kind of higher than normal. I hope everybody's doing well. It's a Monday. Have a happy day. Enjoy your day. Please like and subscribe our show, and go get some swag at an event. I think PMI is still today if you're in Philadelphia, and try the LinkedIn thing. Go on there. Just real quick review. Go on LinkedIn. Boom. And you go to your little people network thing. There should be a little blue icon with the person with the plus. Hit that. Hit find friends, find nearby at your next event, and get the people to interact with each other as a coach or scrum master, and go meet some more people that you work with. With that, we'll say thank you very much. Happy scrumming. Have a great day. And let's start out that week in a positive note. Take care. See you all. Bye.